Well, we've reached the halfway point of the season for the Cowboys. Dallas with a 6-2 record heading into the bye week, feeling refreshed and ready to go for the second half. But boy, has it been a roller coaster since that opening game in September. Welcome into a very special edition of Cowboys Rewind. I'm Haley Sutton here at the Star in Frisco, ready to take you back through 2022 so far for the Dallas Cowboys. And we start, of course, with week 1. The Cowboys excited for another season opening game against the Bucs, only to stall out on offense. Just 3 points scored in the 17-3 loss. And the biggest headline, losing Dak Prescott to a thumb injury. After the game, DeMarcus Lawrence joined Brad Sham and Christy Scales on Cowboys Hour to share how the boys move forward without Dak.
What's the collective mindset when you know that he's not going to be there for a while?
Yeah, got to rally the troops. I feel like all the guys in the locker room feel like we prepared well throughout this whole training camp. And, even though, we lost last night and lost a couple of few key guys, I mean, it's all about, persevering and, being resilient through those times and understanding what we got to do because it's a long season. Those guys going to be back, hopefully sooner than later, but if, we handle our job and do things the right way, we can put ourselves in a good position when they come back.
So sadly, you have a little too much personal knowledge about this because it was week 2. What was it, Wednesday?
Oh, yeah.
When you broke your foot last year, and then you were out for a long time. And I wonder what you learned that in that period, both from the standpoint of the guy who's out, that you can commiserate with on the defensive side, Curse, but also with Dak and McGovern. And then as a leader, which you clearly are, what can you take from your situation last year to bring to helping everybody get over that hump?
Yeah, just recapping on the situation last year, I feel like defense, got tremendously better without me last year after that week 1 loss. So I feel like, it's going to be the same thing. It helps me, grow into my leadership role, being able to, help rally the troops and make sure everybody is ready, to go out there and do their job. And it's really all about just taking it one day and one game at a time. Staying with your preparation and not getting outside of the game. And just staying focused on it. So I feel like we're going to be okay.
Team morale took a dip after that loss. We'd later learn Dak would be sidelined for up to 6 weeks. So up steps backup quarterback Cooper Rush, a guy who'd started just 1 game in his career prior to week 2's game against the Bengals. And while many wrote off America's team in 2022, the boys in the locker room delivered.
Rush, play fake, bootleg to the right, looking to throw it in the end zone. Leaping catch. That is Noah Brown with his first ever NFL touchdown.
Hey, good job. Way to crown me anymore. All day.
We're going to get it back here. Give you 2 minutes. Remember, man mentality, right?
They just need about 10, 12 yards here to give Brett Maher a shot.
Rush in the gun, tie game. Protected. Throws it over the middle. Caught! No! Brown. Rush back to throw now. Looking. Deep right side. Caught! Lamb at the 35-yard line. With 3 seconds showing. Snap, hold, kick from 50. Maher! Cowboys win!
A 20-17 victory for Rush and the Cowboys. Cooper would go on to become just the 5th undrafted quarterback to win his first 5 starts in NFL history. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. When we return on Cowboys Rewind, how Dallas tackled division competition with Cooper Rush at the helm.
Cowboys Rewind is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Week 4 of the season saw the NFC East knock on the door for the Cowboys, coming in the form of the then unbeaten New York Giants. Another big test for a team playing with a backup quarterback and an offense still trying to find its identity. Luckily, wide receiver 1 found his groove, helping Dallas hand the Giants their first L in 2022.
CD, what can you say about the way you mentally process the frustration of the drop and bounce back?
Very frustrating, honestly, just because, I practiced all week, all off season, just on focusing in on the ball, and I let that one slip away. It was tough, personally, just because, like I said, all the hard work I put in just for, one play away, I let it slip, you know what I'm saying?
But then in the fourth quarter, not only the one-handed touchdown catch, but the fourth down catch, getting rocked, holding on, and then the catch down to the 1. Did that feel like a breakthrough drive for you?
Most definitely. I appreciate Kel for trusting in me and all the guys, believing in my ability. And it was tough. It was a tough, third quarter. Just kind of I kept thinking about it. All the guys just kept preaching to me to, let it go. We still got more game left. And then fourth quarter, when I kept hearing my number being called, I knew it was my opportunity again, so had to step up.
Rush with his best offensive performance in the win. And the following week, more divisional rivalry action. The boys returned home for their first time since week 1 to host Washington. It was a welcome sight for Cowboys fans and for the Cowboys offense, who welcomed back Michael Gallup to the field. Our guys Isaiah Standback and Barry Church took to the sticks to break down the MG13 threat.
You're not going to rush me. Here we go.
Here we go. Let's see what you got. Okay.
Bam. Pace. Bow. Ooh,
Okay,
good
all
grab.
right, there you
Good
go.
grab. And I want to back this up for you guys so you guys can see it on the instant replay. It's a great job by Rush getting that thing out to Schultz. But I want you guys to see exactly what happens here when you have a a Michael Gallup presence. I'm going to go ahead and zoom it out so that you guys can see the whole coverage. Right here, it looks like it's either a cover 2 or a cover 4, right? Pre-snap coming out, I see the 2 high safeties. I ask Cooper Rush. As soon as I see that, boom, all right, I know what I have. I'm going to go to the post-snap. You see those corners carry. All right, those corners are dropping back. They're not staying up there in their zone. That lets you know that you have quarters. Right here, you have Michael Gallup. I'm going to go ahead and go all the way over to Michael Gallup so you guys can get a little bit up close and personal with him. Okay, Michael Gallup, right now, those guys, he's in both of their zones. In quarters coverage, that corner has that quarter of the field, and that safety has that quarter. Well, he is getting on the toes of this nearby corner, which means that you have to be responsible for me. And not only am I going to grab you while I'm running, I'm also going to grab this safety. So now I've taken 2 guys and made them, I've made them my primary responsibility. And what does that allow for? Well, it allows for Dalton Schultz right here to be able to come to his out route, right where that space is vacated, make a good contested catch, and be able to move these chains.
And I'm telling you, you called it perfectly right there, because as a safety and you're in that cover 4 zone, the hardest thing is that 87 look. And that's when that receiver, Michael Gallup, takes that deep post out there. And then you got number 2, which is Schultz in this situation, coming up vertical a little bit, but snapping out. Because exactly what you said, when Gallup is in both of those zones like that, you got to respect it. You got to respect the speed of a Michael Gallup right there coming through your zone. So that grabs both of those defenders, and it leaves Schultz wide open on the 7 look right there. And that's a heck of a play call by Kellen Moore and IRS, the OC.
So as the offense tried to figure it out, the defense was holding it down. Mike McCarthy told us this was a defensive-oriented team, but just how good were they? We'll break down one player's performance against the defending Super Bowl champions next on Cowboys Rewind.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Dorrance Armstrong has been quietly climbing the Cowboys ranks since joining the organization 5 years ago, with this year shaping up to be a breakout season for the defensive end. His best performance to date came in Week 5 when he lit up the stat sheet. I sat down with Dorrance on 1st and 10 to find out what's been his favorite part of the journey so far.
You're in your 5th year.
and you have had an explosive start to the year. Just what's working for you so far this season?
Honestly, just the amount of work that we put in all season and all the way from OTAs and camp, just building off from that moment.
You have had a lot of talkable moments so far this season, and even going back into last season, a touchdown, a blocked punt, a blocked field goal, all these things. Is there one maybe that stands out to you, or a moment so far in your career that you're like, dang, that's cool, I did that?
Yeah, the blocked punt this year was the most exciting one. Yeah, that was exciting. I got to pick it up and run with it a little bit. I wanted a touchdown, but it's all good. Maybe next time.
I know the last time we spoke in the locker room, one thing you were looking forward to was sacking your homie Jalen Hurts. We talked about what that moment would feel like before. Now that you've got that done, you checked that box. Walk me through that for you and what that moment felt like, and maybe what you said to him afterwards.
That moment, gosh. I honestly I thought he was about to throw the ball, but he held it long enough for me to make that play. But I don't know. I didn't say anything to him like I wanted to because it happened so fast, and I was just kind of happy to see him after the game. But nah, it was fun. It was check off, but nah, he got the dub, so we gotta run that back. You know, gotta run that back.
A good time for the defense to start ramping things up as the Cowboys face their biggest challenge of the season in Week 6, the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. A heated rivalry in one of the most hostile environments in all of football. On primetime Sunday night, it had all the makings of an upset, only the Eagles came ready to play. Philly remained unbeaten, and the Cowboys left with a lot to learn going forward. Head coach Mike McCarthy discussed those lessons on the Mike McCarthy Show that week.
What did you find out about your football team during this time, going 4-1 over this stretch without Dak?
Well, I thought the football team did a great job of just staying on line, and the line I'm talking about is complementary football. You know, we talked about it at the start of training camp, and you know we've had the whole off season to look at last year and you know what we accomplished, more importantly how we accomplished it, but really you know who we wanted to be this year. So. And complementary football, you know, the ability to run the ball, stop the run, you know, just all those things that stabilize the game, you know, and I think our special teams doesn't get enough credit, you know, because they're also a big part of that. So the complementary football formula is working for us, but we definitely need to improve our production. You know, our execution production is not what we'd like it to be, and that's exciting because I think it just shows the growth and the capabilities that we have moving forward.
No time to sulk, though. It was back to business in Week 7. How the Cowboys bounced back into the win column with the Commander-in-Chief back behind center. That's coming up next on Cowboys Rewind.
Just to be clear, you are starting Sunday.
I am.
And how?
I think anyway, so. Yeah.
After 6 weeks of waiting, Dak Prescott returned in Week 7 as QB1 with no issues in that right thumb he broke at the beginning of the season. But was the return behind center everything Cowboys fans imagined it would be? Owner and general manager Jerry Jones felt pretty pleased with the results.
They gave us everything that we could hope wanted or not wouldn't want. But that drive in the third quarter, I think, really showed a lot of resolve and really showed the will of the team. And so I'm proud of them. I'm proud for Dak. I'm proud of the guys that made the plays. Williams to come in there and have his game that he had. Young players. They get to feel it. They know they can do it. We're going to build from that. So really an outstanding game, a tough game. Who would have thought a game would be that tough? And that score ended up like it did, but that's what happened.
What do you think about
Dak's performance?
Oh, I thought Dak did. I thought the way Dak played was the team. The team had that. We had tough competition out there. They were making it hard for us any way you wanted to measure it. And I thought we hung in there. At the end of the day, you probably can say we depend on the turnovers. But what you could say is that that defense, the skills of the defense prevailed. So let us make those big plays. Let's make those turnovers. And then Turpin really provided us, really, if you will, I think you just know it's there. When's it coming? And so that helps you in a football game.
There were a couple moments early on in the game where Dak seemed to kind of force it into double coverage, triple coverage. You think he was maybe just a little bit pressing in his first game back? What would you make of that early moments, and how did he bounce back?
Yeah, I don't really know. He certainly could give you an answer on that. I agree with you. It was in harm's way there 2 or 3 times. But, boy, what I did see him do is get that ball down there and get it in the way that you could have those 20-plus yard plays, and we did. And Dak made the difference in that area today. Okay, guys, we'll get in there and get to them. That's where you want them.
Final game before the bye, and the Cowboys finally felt like they were clicking, poised for another challenge in the RPO-minded Justin Fields and Chicago Bears. And as the team counted down to kickoff, our guys on Talkin' Cowboys had a special guest join the show to share why the Cowboys could tame the Bears in Week 8.
So, have you ever heard of this young guy? He's in his second year in the league. He wears the number 11 on the defensive side. Have you ever heard of Micah Parsons? I mean, I know you guys had a really nice player up there for a little bit that wore 52, but he's even doing better things than what that number 52 Khalil Mack was doing early in his career. Have you heard of Micah Parsons to this point?
Bruh, Micah Parsons is the Terminator. He is not from this world. The first Terminator where the dudes was falling out of the sky, one of them was Micah Parsons. He is unreal, dog. He can the only way you stop Micah Parsons is if he decides he wants to stop himself. That's it. That is the only. He is a monster, man. I love his game. I love watching him. And he went to the best school in the world, Penn State.
Went to the same school.
Come on. That's linebacker. Stick City, 11 still. 11 in college. That man sat out a whole year. He's basically a sophomore. Oh, what?
Oh,
man, he is amazing,
so,
dog.
Spice,
I'm going to give Micah his flowers right now. He is amazing.
So speaking of Micah and speaking of you guys' run game, what's your thoughts on when Justin Fields gets out of that backfield and he's trying to escape Micah? You think he can do that, or you think Micah's going to finish?
No. No.
That's the right answer.
What I think when he backs up, 3-step, 5-step, 100-step, he better know where 11 is at all times.
There's the science.
He better keep his head on a swivel. If he see 2 number 1s, he needs to throw the ball, get rid of the ball, or just be like, here. He's not going to be expecting you to throw the ball right in his chest. Here. He's going to be startled. Here. That's what I do. Take it. That's how you stop Micah. If you're a quarterback, throw the ball as hard as you can to his face.
And it kind of felt like Micah took that to heart, but maybe not in the way we thought. The uncaged Lion scoring his first career touchdown on a scoop and score fumble recovery. Here's how the Cowboys wrapped up the first half of the season.
Snap to Prescott. Keeps it, coming left with a block. 5, strolls it in. Watch the dog. Touchdown. Snap to Prescott. A little play action. Standing. Deep post. Caught. Lamb. Touchdown. Handoff, Pollard. There's a hole on the left side, 10. Cuts right 5. Walk the dog, you Tony Pollard. Play fake. He's not throwing it to Davis. He's going to throw it to Ferguson. Touchdown. Handoff. Pollard, big hole. Coming right. Bang. Push. Touchdown. He flushes out left. He stops. He dumps it short to the 25. Still moving Montgomery. Fumble the ball. Recovered by Dallas. Micah Parsons is on the ball.
And he's still alive.
He's still running. He's still moving with the ball. To the 10, to the 5, to the goal line. Handoff, Pollard coming left. Foot in the ground. First down and more, 50. Good block from the tight end. Sideline. Keep running. 10, 5. Touchdown. Tony Pollard.
So as it stands, it's a 6-2 mark for Dallas heading into the bye week. When we return on Cowboys Rewind, we'll wrap up the show by getting you ready for what's ahead for the Cowboys after the bye. Well, the trade deadline came and went, and the Dallas Cowboys made just one move, acquiring defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins from the Raiders. Jerry Jones told us there were some things in the works, but ultimately nothing came to be. They did, however, waive Tristan Hill last Tuesday. So Dallas will return with a familiar squad and big goals to close out the season, starting with a road game at Lambeau Field. Sunday, November 13th, the Cowboys back in action against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Stick with us next week as we get you ready for that one, but that'll do it for us here on Cowboys Rewind. From the Star in Frisco, I'm Haley Sutton saying so long for now.
Cowboys Rewind was brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. SWBC Mortgage. Join the more than 120,000 customers that we've helped to find their happier way home. Visit swbcmortgage.com to find a pro today. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.